want to see a tight game. They want to see a buzzer beater every game. But, you know, it's not like that sometimes. And, you know, every year has been you have your years where you have great playoff series, 4 or 5 game sevens, and then some years you have what you see this playoffs. But as players, you want to go out there and win by as much as possible and play as great as you can. You know, whatever happens, with the score, it happens. So relay that to the fans who feel upset. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
KD's got no worries and doesn't mind if folks are bored with the playoffs. Also, over the weekend, he had this to say to the Undefeated about his decision to go to Golden State. Quote, "I made the 100% correct decision, win or lose. I feel like this is the place I was supposed to be. I appreciate everything I've done before this, but I'm here now, and I feel like it's a great spot for me to be. This is where I'm supposed to be at this point in my life. I'm taking it on and conquering every part of it. I'm enjoying every single step." Stephen A., what's happened to Durant?
Well, he's aged, and along the process of aging, he's gotten more arrogant, he's gotten more disrespectful, he's gotten more dismissive, particularly of the fans. And to be quite honest with you, he hasn't gotten smarter. And the reason why he hasn't gotten smarter is because the younger Durant would have never said something so flagrantly disrespectful towards fans. This is an individual who has made well over $200 million in his career, is in the throes of a $300 million endorsement contract. And I'm here to tell you right now, he deserves every single penny. He is a superstar. He is the real deal in terms of his talent, and he deserves the money. But that guy that was crying during his MVP speech, dedicating so much to his mother and the affection that he garnered because of it, and the manner in which he's conducted himself as a basketball ambassador and all of that other stuff is to be commended. It's just not the Kevin Durant that we've been seeing over the last couple of years. And maybe, just maybe, it's a product of the fact that you are in your 10th year and you had to jump on a well-oiled machine already to get yourself a championship, because being the superstar that you were still wasn't good enough to get it done on your own, even with Russell Westbrook as your teammate. But what I would say is the other word that's apropos in this all is unappreciative. He's unappreciative of the honeymoon that he has enjoyed because of the presence of LeBron James and some of the other storylines that have taken place. Max Kellerman, I'll throw this to you rhetorically. Tell me one other superstar that you can think of the magnitude of a Kevin Durant, that has gotten a bigger pass for not capturing a championship. This man has enjoyed a pretty lengthy honeymoon. Injuries, youth, LeBron James, everything. The only real heat he has ever taken in his entire career was when he decided to make what I still will proclaim to be the weakest move I have ever seen by any superstar in any sport, by leaving Oklahoma City to go to the very team that beat him a month later, who happened to be 73-9 and the all-time winningest single-season team in NBA history, who, by the way, remained pretty much intact. That's what he joined. That's what he jumped on. And it is the only time in Kevin Durant's career that I can think of where legitimate heat has come in his direction. Nobody has bothered this man. And you listen to him speak, and you'll think that you'll think he's LeBron James, like everybody's harassing him. LeBron James is bothered. LeBron James is nitpicked. LeBron James is nipped and edged and all of that other stuff. Kevin Durant has been on a damn near 10-year honeymoon. And we can tell because look how he acts. The second somebody is critical of anything. And by the way, I think the NBA might consider fining him. You going to tell the fans not to watch? Really? That's what you're going to say? Not smart.
Kevin Durant has 15.8 million Twitter followers. Just looked at it since you wanted to bring it up. And I'm sure many of them have negative things to say. In this day and age, you're a superstar in a sport at the level Kevin Durant is. You are going to feel besieged all the time. Guys handle it differently. But your reaction to Kevin Durant, basically that he's arrogant, has been going on since time immemorial, Stephen A., in American sports. What, you want another baseball, a Yankees analogy, you say?
Max.
Why, sure, I can give you one. In 1930, Stephen A. Smith, Babe Ruth made $80,000 a year.
Make him stop. Are you serious?
And he was asked by a reporter how he felt
God.
about making more money than the President of the United States, Herbert Hoover, that year. And he said, well, beginning of the Great Depression, presided over by Herbert Hoover, he said, well, I had a better year than the President did. And he was considered arrogant because real talk from athletes, particularly as it relates to what they make for playing a child's game, but also for decisions like the one that Kevin Durant made, real talk has always been perceived as arrogant. And I'll tell you how I see what Kevin Durant is saying. I see what Kevin Durant is saying as a signal that he doesn't care what other people think anymore. You know, I think there's a tendency to map onto these athletes the easy story to tell. Kevin Durant, aw shucks, small town kid, never really a problem for everyone. He's the kind of teammate you want to have, soft-spoken, country kid. That's how he was portrayed by the media. And it turns out, whatever else you want to say about him, you can get under his skin. He doesn't like it when he's being, you know, all the nitpicking and criticism. Yeah, he doesn't like it. He's not exactly who he was portrayed to be, who everyone assumed
Max,
he was.
do you think this is who he really is, this alpha male disrespecting the customer?
I wouldn't say that's alpha male to disrespect. I would say he's giving you real talk. He's like, look, this is a decision that I made for me and my family and his basketball career, and maybe not everyone likes it, but I didn't do this for everyone else. I did this for myself. And you know, when people stop caring what other people think, they become very dangerous. I see Durant as a more dangerous player than he used to be as a result of this attitude.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But let me say this. First of all, let me not be a hypocrite, because when it comes to arrogance and all of that stuff, I've certainly been accused of that on many occasions, and I don't particularly care. But that's not the issue. The issue is the timing of it. The Stephen A. Smith that you're looking at has always been here. Good, bad, ugly. I've always been who I am. I didn't change once I got the money. I didn't change once I jumped on the bandwagon and happened to be a part of one of the greatest teams that we have seen. I didn't change once I jumped on the bandwagon and put myself in position to be a prohibitive favorite, to be a champion. If Kevin Durant had been this way from day one, we wouldn't be saying this. It comes with Kevin Durant. If Kevin Durant had said this at any time that he was in Oklahoma City, we wouldn't be saying much. That's Kevin Durant. He seems to have gotten this way now that he's gotten what he's wanted. Now that he's positioned himself to get major dough on top of what he's already earned, combined with the fact that he's a prohibitive favorite to win a championship. If Kevin Durant hadn't been that way, or if Kevin Durant had been that way years ago, you wouldn't be hearing anything.
But he wasn't
from me
attacked
right now.
by everyone in the world years ago. He must feel, look, he must feel besieged from the negative attention he's gotten. Kevin Durant is...
He's gotten a lot of positive attention too, Max.
He has, but he's basically, according to everyone, a good dude, right? You say it often when his name comes up.
Yes, he is.
So if you're just basically a good dude and you happen to be one of the best in the world, you don't just happen to be, you have to work very hard to be one of the best in the world at something as competitive as NBA basketball. That's amazing. And when he eventually makes the decision, like, let's just say for a second, look at it from his point of view. You know what? I'm not going to win here in Oklahoma City. And even if I do, I didn't ask to come here. I was drafted here. I spent the last 6-7 years here. I never had a choice and never had a say in the matter. I'm with a very dominant type of personality who we always have to figure out who's going to take the last shot, and that's an ongoing thing. And then I look over at Golden State and I think, even though we should have beat them in the playoffs, I think, you know what? Whoever takes the last shot on that team, it's the open man. I just want to be in a position where they play basketball the right way and we don't have to answer these kinds of, like, who's going to take the last shot in the last 30 seconds and all that stuff. Now, if that's truly his thought process and he makes that decision because it's best for him and it's the way he wants to play, and all he ever hears is that's the weakest move by an NBA superstar, which you say often, ever. And by the way, you say it with good reason. You have plenty of evidence to back that up. But that's not really how he perceives it, why he made that decision. Aren't you going to feel attacked and then millions of people hitting you up on Twitter and Instagram, whatever else, going at you? Aren't you going to feel attacked?
Well, Max, you have a point if that was the issue. The issue in question is that we watch the games and they've been so lopsided, and there's an absence of competition. You're not just selling us a product as it pertains to your individual talent. You're a league. You're selling us the product as the theater of sports. So if people don't have that, they're going to react and they're going to look at you. But in the end, by and large, Kevin Durant has received more support than most superstars have ever received, and he walks around at times feeling like he's been the most victimized.
I can't deny that.
And that's factually incorrect. That's factually incorrect.
This last year he's been victimized.
He acts persecuted.
Since 4th of July.
Let me just leave you with this thought. Are the ratings up or not for these NBA playoffs?
They're up.
They're up. And do you know why I think they're up? Not because of the competition in the conference finals, obviously. It's because everyone's waiting for the clash of the Titans. It's Ali and Frazier coming at you, and people are so amped up about that, it's increasing interest. And that's the case because Kevin Durant went to Golden State. That amped this up even more. That's such a bad thing?
Wait, all I can say is wait until my final take today.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Buddy.
Wait.
Coming up, it wasn't LeBron's night last night, and it only got worse after the game. We'll tell you what happened. Plus,